Alright everybody, welcome back to Dave's Open Range. So we're down in the basement shop, the cozy little basement shop. Small, lot gets done down here though. So this is the last video on this hatchet. It feels like a mini series at this point, but we're going to sharpen it tonight with a hand file. I'm just going to show you how that goes. I've sharpened a ton of blades with all sorts of fancy stones and grinders and this and that. And to be honest, I like the hand file almost the best. It gets it quite sharp enough for anything I'm ever going to want to do. It gives you control over the edge, unlike say a grinder. You don't want to use a grinder anyway necessarily because it heats up the temper, heats up the steel, and you don't necessarily want to do that. Stones take a long time. If anything, I like to use the hand file than the stone that's like a hockey puck. But the hand file is the way to go. And I've been, like I said, done a lot of different techniques, but I've been using a hand file for a handful of years on blades, axes, hatchets, lawnmower blades. Lawnmower blades I don't mind using a grinder because it doesn't matter that much. But on anything that I care even a little bit about, I like to use this file. It's also important to keep it clean, and this is actually a file brush. These are fine wires to keep all the material and filings out of the file. That makes it cut. The file is sharp. I mean, it's not cut your skin sharp, but the key to this is even a good file is $10 by Stanley, or this one happens to be a Nicholson. And I will say that some files have a crosshatch cutting pattern versus parallel cutting surfaces, and I like just the parallel for metal because it tends to cut more uniformly, cut the metal. So enough talking, let's get the hatchet clamped down and get going. This is that hatchet that's going to be a gift, and this is the last video in now what seems like a mini series. This is quite dull. It would cut me maybe, but this is right from Amazon, and I'm going to sharpen it up, and then it's going to be done, and sit until I'm ready to give it as that gift. Okay, let's pause for a second, reposition the camera, and go from there. Okay, so what I like to do is clamp this down on the bench. You can do this on the kitchen table, any kind of workbench. You can't really put it in a vise vertically, I don't find. It can't be vertical. You can't get the file across it. It's really hard to do it by hand. Highly prefer that my method is to clamp it down on a workbench. Use 2 clamps, otherwise it wants to pivot around on you, and then that's just annoying, and you can't get a nice firm stroke on the file. I use these wooden wedges to hold the blade up off of the bench so it's not just slumped down so badly. I usually like to wear a glove on my right hand. Any old glove, preferably a leather one. I can't find my leather gloves right now. So that when you're filing across and you happen to slip, you don't run your hand into the sharp edge. Okay, not too much magic to this, but excuse me. You want to pay attention to the angle, the cutting surface. Sometimes it's a flat cutting surface. Sometimes it's rounded off, so you just need to sort of, as you file, you can feel what it's going to be. Sometimes it takes a few strokes to start cutting. Maybe you can see it's cutting already. There's filings left on the blade. This really just takes a few minutes to work across the blade. You can see that wanted to pivot on me a little bit. Maybe I'm pushing a little harder. I'm pushing firmly, but you really just let the file cut. I think cut would be the right term. And you can tell by the shine left by the cutting where your angle is on the surface of the blade. So to be honest, I'm almost done with this side already. And you can feel it, you can almost hear it when it cuts appropriately. And you can perhaps see the shininess if you can't, with the right light and the right angle of your eye on the blade. You can see where you're cutting the metal and where you're cutting it on the cutting edge so that you don't round it off too much or too little. Depends on what you're going for. So I think I'm going to stop already. You can see there's a pile of filings there, so it's really doing nice. I've sharpened a lot of axes and hatchets this way, and it is plenty sharp. You probably can't shave with it, but close. And that's a lot of people's test, is can you shave hair off your arm? Whatever. Maybe we'll test that just for fun, but even if it doesn't shave hair off the arm, it's plenty sharp for what I'm doing, which is firewood, campfire messing around, that sort of thing. I'm going to stop right there on that edge. We'll flip it over real quick and maybe do it all, or at least the last part of it, so I can show you that it's sharp. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, everybody, this thing is sharp. That took me an extra 3 minutes or 4 minutes just to get that other edge done. I don't think I need to demonstrate that it's sharp, but perhaps you can see the shine of the light on the edge. Not sure, we'll see. But you know, running my fingers across it this way, it is plenty sharp. I didn't do it on camera, but make a little feather stick, so that's what it'll do. It'll shave wood like that, so you know, that's sharp enough for my taste. I don't need it to shave hair necessarily. However, it is a little bit. Probably can't see that, but it's taking hair off my arm, so that thing is plenty sharp. I didn't mention that I don't find I'm having luck if I run the file this way. I find it cuts the metal a lot more efficiently and effectively to run it up to the edge. That's why I wear a glove in case I slip. So like I said, that's the way to sharpen a hatchet, axe, lawnmower blade, bush hog blade, any sort of cutting edge like that you want to get sharp in a working way. Now I could put a stone on that and, you know, mirror finish and all that, but to be honest, this thing is absolutely adequately sharp for anything I'm going to do. This project is done, this mini series. Thanks for hanging in there with me on the project and on the channel. Please do subscribe and like and comment on my videos, and there will be more coming. And we'll sheath this up, and that is going to be great. It is great. And okay, appreciate it. Never know what you'll find on Dave's Open Range, so we'll see you next time, and you take care.